Hi guys, Amber Romaniak here, emotional eating, digestive and hormone expert, and I've just been so called to come and create this video for you guys because it's something that I feel like is so relevant for this time of the year. We're in the second half of January. A lot of people, that set really big, hefty health goals, weight loss goals, resolution goals, unfortunately maybe failing at this point or feeling like they're not reaching their goals fast enough. I don't know if that sounds like you, but it definitely used to be me. And I really wanted to talk today about how after I overcame binge eating and my food addiction, how I gained 50 pounds by exercising and the limiting belief that I had to free myself of and let go of so that I could actually get to the roots as to why I gained the weight back without binging and restriction. So when I went through my food addiction, I really used exercise as a way to lose weight and keep it off because I had this massive fear of gaining weight and losing control with my body. My self-worth was very, very tied to the number on the scale. So if it was like below a certain weight, then I'd, be happy and like wear certain clothes and go out and be social and allow myself to do certain things like dating. But if I was above a certain weight, I wasn't happy. I couldn't wear certain clothes. I wasn't going out and being social or allowing myself to date or just, allowing myself to live life to the fullest because I just had such a deep-seated limiting belief of not being good enough if I wasn't a certain weight. So exercise for me at that point was not, there was no healthy relationship with it. It was really like, how many calories can I burn? I want to go hard. Some days I was working out, 2 times a day and felt like, I was almost a better person because I was exercising more, and I almost felt hardcore with my exercise and my workouts. But essentially after binge eating, I would panic, afterward, and the next day be like, oh my gosh, I need to go to the gym. I need to work all of this off. I need to push myself really hard. And there was like this drill sergeant in my head that was like, you need to work harder. You need to burn more calories. Shame on you for binge eating again. Like, you're so stupid. You're never going to get over this. Like, do you want to be fat forever? Do you want to be single and alone and unhappy and blah, blah, blah? Like, this drill sergeant voice in my head was mean. It was not nice at all. It's the ego, the self-sabotaging mindset. We all have one. It's just that at that time I had no idea about any of the stuff that I know about now and the significant impact that those negative thoughts and beliefs were having on my physical and emotional state of health. And so exercise was largely punishment for me, just like food was. When I didn't, weigh a certain amount, when I was unhappy, I had a negative interaction with someone, if a relationship didn't work out, if I was stressed about money, I would binge, I would emotionally eat. But then I would further punish myself by going to the gym and, saying you have to do at least an hour to an hour and a half workout, you have to do all this cardio, you have to do all this exercise, you can't take breaks, and you have to go really hard until that scale comes back down to where you were before you binged, and even better if it drops. So what ended up happening is after I overcame the binge eating and really, stepped into learning how to love myself and build a healthy relationship with food, I still was working out. And I did not realize, a limiting belief that I had that was, you need to work out like 3 to 5 days a week at least to lose weight or to maintain a certain weight. So I was going to the gym still, doing these big workouts because I still underneath, this building of self-love and body acceptance and mindful relationship with food, I still had this fear of completely losing control with my weight and my body. And the irony of the situation was, at the time, as I was in recovery of my food addiction, and I had, graduated from the school that I got my holistic nutrition diploma from, and I had started my business, is that I had significant hormone imbalances. Like my cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, that was 5 times higher than it was supposed to be. My thyroid was underactive, which meant my metabolism, was being impacted. My estrogen levels were 10 times higher than they were supposed to be, and my progesterone was about 2 or 3 times lower than it was supposed to be, hence why sometimes when I would drop to a certain weight or exercise a lot, my cycle would disappear. So I was dealing with all these hormone imbalances from the food addiction and the exercise addiction, you could call it, and also significant digestive imbalances, which were also, fueling inflammation, water retention, lots of foods I couldn't eat for a while just because of how hard I was in my system with the binge eating. So I started working with a personal trainer. The services were offered, and so I was like, hey, maybe this will be a great way for me to work out properly, you know, learn proper form, and you know, I kind of gained a little bit of weight, so I was like, oh, maybe this will just help me get it off. And as I got into this workout routine, and I told them, like, I have some hormone imbalances, I don't want them to get worse, so please make sure that you know, create my plan to support that. And so I started this training routine, and it honestly seemed like I was training for like triathlon or like Ironman. Like, it was really intense. And I noticed, you know, after my sessions, I was, you know, already waking up tired, and then after my exercise sessions, training sessions, I was exhausted, and I was exhausted through the day, and I started to feel more puffy, more warm, more inflamed. My energy was getting lower, and the next thing you know, I noticed my clothes are starting to fit tighter and tighter and tighter. And at that time, I was, you know, not going on the scale because I was trying to disconnect myself from the scale and the number and my self-worth. But one day I just got so curious, and I hopped on, and I was blown away to see that I had gained 25 pounds, and I hadn't been binge eating, and it was like, what the heck is going on? And this panic went on in my head, and I'm going, oh man, maybe I have to work out harder. Maybe it's just that it's not enough. And so I continued, you know, for a few more weeks, a couple more months with this workout routine. My schedule was also very busy because I had started a new business. I had this mentality of like, I need to go, 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 and to get ahead so I can be financially, you know, good in my business and support myself. And I want to network, and I want to be known for what I do and help as many people as I can. So between the exercise and the schedule, my body was in such a state of stress. I was exhausted. I was, you know, having periods of, you know, going through sleep where I was having trouble falling asleep, and then I was waking wide awake between 2 and 4 a.m. and couldn't fall back to sleep. And I gained another 25 pounds. And the irony of the situation was, you know, when I had weighed in a few months later, I was the heaviest that I was when I was at the peak of my food addiction, and I wasn't even binging. And it blew my mind, because I was like, what? Like, exercise is supposed to help me burn calories and lose weight and maintain weight. Why am I gaining weight? It blew my mind, because what I had realized to this point is this belief I have and this fear of losing control with my body and gaining weight was happening while I was exercising. And so this limiting belief that I had was really, you need to exercise at least 3 to 5 days a week to maintain a healthy weight or to lose weight. Again, for me, the irony was it was going the complete opposite way. My hormones and the exercise were clashing. My schedule and the exercise were clashing, and my schedule and the hormones were clashing. So what I decided to do, and this took a lot of courage because I was so scared at the time, but what I decided to do was go, I need to stop the workouts. I truly want to build this connection and challenge this limiting belief and kick it to the curb. So I need to quit the gym. That's what I need to do for myself. It's different for everybody. I need to rest. I need to get these hormones in order, and I need to learn how to balance my schedule and not be saying yes to everything and be so busy that I have no time for myself. So I quit the gym. What would that have been, like 2015, June 2015? I stopped the intense exercise, and I really just focused on getting lots of sleep. I was napping more often. Relaxing self-care like meditation, deep breathing, tapping, journaling. These are things I always love to do. Restorative yoga was okay because it didn't get my cortisol levels up. Because something we have to remember is exercise produces a stress response. So if you have elevated cortisol or too low of cortisol, often it will just, you know, push those levels off more. And then if we stay in a heightened state of stress long term, it can have impacts on your thyroid, and then it can impact your estrogen levels, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, your B12 levels, your iron levels, so many other potential things in the body that unless you know how to navigate them and uncover them, or you have someone that's supporting you with them, it's very difficult to identify these different pieces of information and how to then like create, you know, a self-care routine or a movement routine that's mindful and supportive of your current state of health. So as I shifted my focus away from the exercise and the go, go, go mentality, the inflammation started to drop. My hormones probably balanced in a period of about 3 to 6 months, and they had been out of whack for like 5 years, and I had been slowly making changes, but the progress just seemed so minimal. And what is so fascinating to me, and I love this now that I look back, is I literally rested and balanced the weight off. So at that peak, at that highest weight, that's actually when I had a true connected moment of self-care. I had a really great year, lots of really positive things were happening, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Amber, if this is where we're meant to be, and this is where my weight's meant to be, and I'm meant to be, 50 pounds heavier, then I fully love and accept you, because there's so many good things going on in this world, and you've given me a second chance, body. Like, I put you through so much crap through that food addiction and all the negative self-talk and all, the punishment with exercise and food. I'm so grateful that you've given me this second chance. So I'm gonna just accept this. And it's like, something clicked in that moment and I got butterflies, and I just felt this deep respect for my body that I'd never felt before. And it's like it just melted off. The weight just melted off, and within a few months I was actually to a weight that I hadn't been to in a long time. But I really believe that we put on weight or protection when we don't feel safe, and that as we create the body to feel safer with our change in mindset, our emotions, balancing hormones, stopping doing movement you hate. I was forcing myself to do movement that I dreaded. Of course it was stressing me out. I got more into walking and gentle stretching and yoga, and doing things that made me feel good rather than force. And I swear it just melted off, and it blew my mind, because I had shattered that limiting belief that I had and inherited from magazines and media, when I was like 16 or 17. This is a limiting belief I had for like 13, 12 years of my life. I shattered it, and it really then allowed me to take my coaching and the support that I give my clients to a deeper level. And I witness this with my clients all the time, that they are able to surrender to that movement they're forcing themselves to do, and it actually helps them balance their hormones, their digestion improves, their energy gets better, mental clarity gets better, they don't want to emotionally eat, and then when their body feels ready, the weight comes off. And it's shocking to them, because they're going, well, I didn't have to restrict and I didn't have to, go and kill myself in the gym. Like, what? This is not anything I've ever imagined. And so I want to challenge you. Do you have this limiting belief that you have to, work out a certain amount of days a week and burn X amount of calories, and it's only by really intense exercise that you can lose weight and keep it off, right? What are your thoughts and beliefs around exercise? Do you do mindful movement, or do you do movement that you hate because you think you have to do it? I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this, your feelings around it. Can you relate? Is this something that you feel like you're struggling with? And if it is, then I would encourage you to reach out. We can book a 30-minute complimentary body freedom call, talk more about your health goals and struggles where you're feeling stuck. I know what it's like to feel stuck. I've been there so many times in the past, and there's often just things that you are not able to identify, roots that need to be pulled out, and as they are, things balance back out and you get out of that rut. So let me know your thoughts below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and be sure to stay tuned for more videos. But I really wanted to get this out today, so thank you so much for listening and for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again soon.